Hi guys, welcome to my study compass. In this video, I'll be walking you through the past paper, Math P2, Variant 1, October November 2020. Let's get started. Simplify. 3a plus 7b minus 4a plus b. 3a minus 4a gives us negative a and 7b plus b is 8b. And so our final answer is 8b minus a. A field ABC is in the shape of a triangle. AC is equal to 500 meters and BC is equal to 650 meters. Using a ruler and compasses only, complete the scale drawing of the field ABC. Leave in your construction arcs. Use a scale of 1 centimeter to represent 100 meters. The side AB has been drawn for you. So first, using the given scale, AC becomes 5 centimeters and BC becomes 6.5 centimeters. So opening your compass to a length of 5 centimeters, stand at A and draw your first construction arc. Then opening your compass to a length of 6.5 centimeters, stand at B and draw your second arc. The intersection of these two arcs is the point C. Using your ruler, we can now go ahead and draw a straight line from A to C and draw another from B to C. Rangan buys 3.6 kilograms of potatoes and 2.8 kilograms of leeks. The total cost is $13.72. Leeks cost $2.65 per kilogram. Find the cost of 1 kilogram of potatoes. So first, let's represent the cost of 1 kilogram of potatoes with P. We will also represent the cost of 1 kilogram of leeks with L. And we've been given this in the question as $2.65. So for our equation, the total cost, which is $13.72, is equal to the number of kilograms of potatoes bought, which is 3.6, times the cost of 1 kilogram of potatoes, which is P, plus the number of kilograms of leeks bought, which is 2.8, times the cost of 1 kilogram of leeks, which is L. And so in the next step, we substitute L is equal to $2.65, and when we expand the brackets and simplify this further, we get 3.6p is equal to 6.3. When we make p the subject, we have 6.3 divided by 3.6, and this gives us 1.75. Aisha records the distance she runs and her average speed. The results are shown in the scatter diagram. The table shows the results of 4 more runs. On the scatter diagram, plot these points. So on the scatter diagram, let's plot the points 4.2, 13.4, 5.7, 11.8, 7.1, 9.8, 8.8, 8.3. What type of correlation is shown in the scatter diagram? On the scatter diagram, as the distance Aisha runs increases, her average speed decreases. This type of correlation is negative. On the scatter diagram, draw a line of best fits. No two lines of best fits are going to look exactly the same. However, the general rule of thumb for drawing a line of best fit is to ensure that the line passes through as many points as possible while balancing an equal number of points above and below the line. Use your line of best fit to estimate her average speed when she runs a distance of 6 kilometers. So on the scatter diagram, when we map 6 kilometers, we get an average speed of 10.6 kilometers per hour. T is equal to 49.2 minus 9.59 divided by 4.085 times 2.35. By writing each number correct to one significant figure, work out an estimate for T. You must show all your working. For 49.2, the first significant figure is 4. The number after 4 is greater than 5. So we are going to add 1 to 4, giving us 5, and all the numbers before the decimal point become 0, and we ignore all the numbers after the decimal point, and so this gives us 50. For 9.59, 9 is the first significant figure. The number after 9 is 5 or more, and so we are going to add 1 to 9 and ignore all the numbers after the decimal point, and so this gives us 10. For 4.085, 4 is the first significant figure. The number after 4 is less than 5. So we are going to maintain 4 and ignore all the numbers after the decimal point. For 2.35, 2 is the first significant figure. The number after 2 is less than 5. So we are going to maintain 2 and ignore all the numbers after the decimal point. So we now have t is approximately equal to 50 minus 10 divided by 4 times 2. This simplifies to give us t is approximately equal to 5. Without using a calculator, work out 2 over 3 times 3 over 4. You must show all your working and give your answer as a mixed number in its simplest form. In the first step, we need to convert all the mixed fractions into improper fractions. For 2 over 3, we have 2 times 3 giving us 6 plus 2 giving us 8 divided by 3. For 3 over 4, we have 2 times 4 giving us 8 plus 3 giving us 11 divided by 4. 4 goes into itself once and goes into 8 2 times. So for our numerator, we have 2 times 11 giving us 22, and for the denominator, we have 3 times 1 giving us 3. 22 over 3 is an improper fraction, and so we need to convert it into a mixed fraction. 3 goes into 22 7 times, and we are left with 1 divided by 3. So our final answer is 1 over 3. Make x the subject of this formula. 2y is equal to 5x minus 7. Minus 7 goes to the other side of the equation to add, and so we have 5x equals 2y plus 7. 5 is multiplying x, and so to make x the subject, 5 goes to the other side of the equation to divide. And so for our final answer, we have x is equal to 2y plus 7 over 5. 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7 are all common factors of two numbers. Write down the digits that the two numbers must end in. So to find this number, all we need to do is find the product of 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7. And when we do this, we get 210. And so this means that the two numbers must end in 0. Write 84 as a product of its prime factors. 84 can be broken down into 2 times 42. 42 can be broken down into 2 times 21. 21 can be broken down into 3 times 7. And so 84 as a product of its prime factors is equal to 2 times 2 times 3 times 7. Ahmed increases 40 by 300%. From this list, put a ring around the correct calculation. When we increase 40 by 300%, that is equal to 40 plus 300 over 100 times 40. And this gives us 160. So from the list, 40 times 4 is equal to 160. Ahmed finds the magnitude of the vector 2, negative 3. From this list, put a ring around the correct calculation. We know that whenever we are given a vector AB, its magnitude is equal to square root of a squared plus b squared. And so in this case, we have square root of 2 squared plus negative 3 all squared. A town has a population of 45,000. This population increases exponentially at a rate of 1.6% per year. Find the population of the town at the end of 5 years. Give your answer correct to the nearest 100. So in this case, we apply the exponential formula. Big A represents the population at the end of 5 years. Small a represents the initial population, R represents the rate, and T represents the time duration in years. From the question, we've been given small a as 45,000, R is equal to 1.6, and T is equal to 5. And so when we slot in these values into our equation and type it into our calculator, we have 48,717.05799. The number in the hundredths position is 7. The number after 7 is 1. Since this number is less than 5, we are going to maintain 7, and the two numbers before the decimal point become 0. We ignore all the numbers after the decimal point, and so our final answer becomes 48,700, correct to the nearest hundred. The diagram shows a rectangle with a line of symmetry at x is equal to 2. Two vertices of the rectangle are at -1, 1 and -1, 4. The shaded region is defined by the inequalities x is greater than and equal to a and less than and equal to b, and y is greater than and equal to c and less than and equal to d. Find the values of a, b, c, and d. To find the values of a, b, c, and d, we need to first find the remaining two coordinates of the rectangle. We've been told that x is equal to 2 is a line of symmetry. So for the top part of the rectangle, if we need to move 3 units from this point to the line x is equal to 2, then it means that we also need to move 3 units from x is equal to 2 to get to the next point. And so 2 plus 3 gives us the x coordinate of this point as 5. And since this line is horizontal, it means that the y coordinate stays the same and is equal to 4. For the bottom part of the rectangle, since this point is on the same line as the point above, its x-coordinate will also be equal to 5, and its y-coordinate will be equal to 1. We have x is greater than and equal to -1 and less than and equal to 5. So this means that a is -1, b is 5. And for y, we have y is greater than and equal to 1 and less than and equal to 4. So C is 1, D is 4. The interior angle of a regular polygon with n sides is 156 degrees. Work out the value of n. The formula for finding the sum of all interior angles is equal to 180 degrees times n minus 2, where n is the number of sides of the polygon. In the question, we've been given the size of one of the interior angles in the regular polygon, and this is 156 degrees. Since we are dealing with a regular polygon, then it means that the sum of all the interior angles will be equal to 156 times n. And so we have 156n is equal to 180 times n minus 2. When we expand the brackets, 180 times n is 180n. 180 times -2 is -360. When we simplify this further and make n the subject, we have n is equal to 15. Write the recurring decimal 0.17 as a fraction in its simplest form. You must show all your working. Since the dot is placed on 7 in 0.17, it means that 7 is the only digit that is recurring, and so we have 0.17777, and we are going to represent this with x. When we multiply x by 10, we have 1.7777, and when we multiply x by 100, we have 17.7777. When we look at the recurring decimals, 10x and 100x have the exact pattern after the decimal point, and so we are going to take these numbers into the next step. And so we have 100x minus 10x is equal to 17.77 minus 1.77. 100x minus 10x is 90x, and 17.77 minus 1.77 gives us 16. And so we have x is equal to 16 divided by 90. This can further be simplified. 2 goes into 16 8 times, and 2 goes into 90 45 times. And so our final answer is 8/45. Find the gradient of a line that is perpendicular to 8y plus 4x is equal to 5. So first, we know that the product of two perpendicular lines is equal to -1. So now let's find the slope of the line given in the question. We can do this by rewriting 8y plus 4x equals 5 in the form y is equal to mx plus c. So first, let's divide through the equation by 8. And this gives us y is equal to -4/8x plus 5/8. -4/8 can further be simplified into -1/2. And so the slope of this line is equal to -1/2. When we put that into our equation, we have m times -1/2 equals -1. When we make m the subject, we have m is equal to 2. The diagram shows the speed time graph for 100 seconds of the journey of a car and a motorbike. Find the deceleration of the car between 60 and 100 seconds. Finding the deceleration of the car between 60 and 100 seconds is equal to finding the slope of the graph between t equals 60 and t equals 100. So when we use these 2 points, we have the acceleration as 18 minus 6 meters per second divided by 100 minus 60 seconds, and that gives us 0.3 meters per second squared. Calculate how much further the car traveled than the motorbike during the 100 seconds. So what we are asked to find is the difference in the distance traveled between the car and the motorbike. The area under the speed time graphs is the distance traveled. To find the distance traveled by the car, we can split the area under the graph into two main sections: a trapezium, which we have labeled as DC1, and a rectangle, which we have labeled as DC2. So DC1 is the area of a trapezium, which is half of 60 plus 100 times 12 meters, giving us 960 meters. DC2 is the area of a rectangle, which is 6 times 100 meters, giving us 600 meters. For the motor, the area under the graph is a rectangle, and so we have 100 times 12 meters, giving us 1,200 meters. And so the difference between the distance traveled is equal to 960 plus 600 meters minus 1,200 meters. And this gives us 360 meters. Factorize 6x squared plus 7x minus 20. 7x can be rewritten as -8x plus 15x. For the first two terms, when we factor out 2x, we are left with 3x minus 4. And for the final two terms, when we factor out 5, we are left with 3x minus 4. And so this can be rewritten as 2x plus 5 times 3x minus 4. F of x is equal to 3x squared plus a, where a is an integer. F of -2 is equal to 19. Find the value of a. So f of -2 is equal to 19, and so that means that 3 times -2 squared plus a is equal to 19. 3 times -2 squared is 12. And so when we make a the subject, we have a is equal to 19 minus 12, which is 7. G of x is equal to 2x plus 7. H of x is equal to 3x minus 8. Find g of h of x in its simplest form. So g of h of x is simply taking out x in g of x and replacing it with h of x, which is 3x minus 8. And so we have 2 times 3x minus 8 plus 7. When we expand the brackets, 2 times 3x is 6x, and 2 times negative 8 is negative 16. Negative 16 plus 7 is negative 9. And so we have g of h of x is equal to 6x minus 9. Find g inverse of x. We've been given g of x as 2x plus 7. So in the first step, we replace g of x with x and replace x with y, giving us x equals 2y plus 7. When we make y the subject, we have y is equal to x minus 7 divided by 2. This is the same as g inverse of x. And so g inverse of x is also equal to x minus 7 over 2. The diagram shows a solid made from a cylinder and a hemisphere, both of radius 7 centimeters. The cylinder has length 12 centimeters. Work out the total surface area of the solid. The surface area A of a sphere with radius r is A is equal to 4 pi r squared. The total surface area of the solid will be equal to the surface area of the hemisphere at the top plus the surface area of the cylinder and the surface area of the circle at the bottom. A hemisphere is half of a sphere, and so the area for the hemisphere will be 4 pi r squared divided by 2, which is 2 pi r squared. The radius is 7 centimeters, and so we have 2 pi times 7 squared centimeters squared, giving us 98 pi. The surface area of the cylinder is 2 pi rh. The radius is 7, the height is 12, and so that gives us 168 pi centimeters squared. The area of the circle is pi r squared. The radius is 7, and so we have 49 pi centimeters squared. After finding all these values, the total surface area is equal to 98 pi plus 168 pi plus 49 pi centimeters squared. When we type this into the calculator, we get 990 centimeters squared, correct to 3 significant figures. In this Venn diagram, shade the region M complement union N union P. So this means that we first need to shade the region that is not in set M. In addition, we also need to shade the region in set N. And in addition to that as well, we need to shade the region in set P. And so when we do that, this will be our resulting shaded region. The diagram shows a cyclic quadrilateral. Find the value of y. Whenever we are given a cyclic quadrilateral, we know that opposite angles in a cyclic quadrilateral add up to 180 degrees. And so C plus D will be equal to 180 degrees, and A plus B will also be equal to 180 degrees. So we have C plus D is equal to 180 degrees. C is 4x minus 87 and D is y. And so we have 4x minus 87 plus y is equal to 180. Since we are finding y, let's make y the subject. This gives us y equals 267 minus 4x. We need to find the value of x to be able to find the value of y. And so we have a plus b is equal to 180. A is 2x, b is x plus 60. 2x plus x is 3x. When we make x the subject, we have 120 divided by 3, which is 40. So now that we know the value of x, we have y is equal to 267 minus 4 times 40. When we type this into the calculator, we get 107. The diagram shows a cuboid PQRSTUVW. PV is equal to 17.2 centimeters. The angle between the line PV and the base TUVW of the cuboid is 43 degrees. Calculate PT. The information given in the question has been illustrated on the diagram. And so to find PT, we can use SOHCAHTOA. This gives us sine 43 degrees is equal to PT divided by 17.2 centimeters. When we make PT the subject, we have 17.2 times sine 43 degrees centimeters. When we type this into the calculator, we get 11.7 centimeters, correct to 3 significant figures. Simplify. X squared minus 5x divided by 2x squared minus 50. For the numerator, when we factor out x, we have x minus 5. For the denominator, when we factor out 2, we are left with x squared minus 25. X squared minus 25 can be rewritten as a difference of 2 squares, and that gives us x squared minus 5 squared. When we apply the factorization formula for difference of 2 squares, we have x plus 5 times x minus 5. X minus 5 cancels out in the numerator and the denominator, and we are left with x divided by 2 times x plus 5. The diagram shows a parallelogram CDEF. FE is equal to M and CE is equal to N. B is the midpoint of CD. FA is equal to 2AC. Find an expression in terms of M and N for AB. Give your answer in its simplest form. AB is equal to AC plus CB. AC is 1/3 of FC and FC is FE plus EC. FE is M and EC is N, and so we have 1/3 times M minus N, giving us 1/3M minus 1/3N. CB is half of CD, and CD is equal to CF plus FE plus ED. CF is minus M plus N, FE is M, and ED is M minus N. When we simplify this, we get half M. And so for AB, we have AC, which is 1/3M minus 1/3N, plus CB, which is half M. 1/3M plus 1/2M gives us 5/6M. And so our final answer becomes 5/6M minus 1/3N. GH is equal to 5/6 of 2p plus q. JK is equal to 5/18 times 2p plus q. Write down 2 facts about vectors GH and JK. When we look at both vectors, they are multiples of the vector 2p plus q, and so this means that GH and JK are parallel. Another thing is that 1/3 of 5/6 is 5/18, and so this means that GH has a greater magnitude than JK. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful. See you in the next video. Bye guys.